into the wind. Time to go. Time to go.
Maloose, we're back.
Apologies for the wait, Duma. You said before that you still had some business.
About that. It's because you still remember.
Yes, the case was quite similar.
Could you tell us a bit?
Yeah, of course. Many years at a glance.
Wait!
Yes, he did. If you drink sin, and if you were to stop as he oversaw with...
Boss is uncompromised. Not only that.
Yes. But recognizing that, the man's name was Jacques that night. But then...
Huh?
Sounds just like Lenny. Looking back on it, though...
Precisely.
But, considering it now, you're right.
Jacques was an empath. I think this. On that note, however... Our opponent, even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson there is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line.
If that's indeed what he wished for, was I not the closest person to him? And yet, what was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Ros, did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death? And live out my life I've never accepted that. I want to find out the real...
Davia.
This is indeed the best moment to...
So you do know something else, Maloose?
Yes, I do. But what drove...
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness, and the serial disappearances case cost him 5 years with knowing all of this. But as long as if something were to happen...
Right. So nobody...
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the...
So he chose...
I'm afraid you're not understanding this. If Boss's spirit could... I'm sure he'd...
No. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose, but thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. Maloose, what was the key evidence that he...
It's the location when he was threatened. But if you are...
Why? If we know
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization there's no telling, but a single... The worst case...
then...
Well, you saw...
But things...
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this move.
I am the butler. I've always been willing to take on any kind of...
Thank you for all of that, Maloose.
Let me think. When I announced order, if the vendors did... After several rounds... The first...
Huh?
Yes, so thanks to his... There's someone else like him, too. Marcel.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild. In the beginning,
So...
Yes, you can say it's...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information. Although the guards since Thierry is...
I see. To think that the...
If you want to invent...
Of course.
You're too kind. And before I forget, proving Boss after that incident, if it might help, you...
Aw, thank you so much, Melly.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together.
It is settled then. Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need...
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened,
If it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you. Because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you. And
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer.
would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought more. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I don't know that for sure. But you could say... Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate...
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good...
Yeah, Papa was a really good man.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better...
Oh,
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state of things is not something I'm willing to just...
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time...
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with... After my partner here put the dots together for me, can you do me a favor and try to
After that, my first reaction, but when I got there, it was...
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guards said that the first shot, reason being, Mr. Callis had let... But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. The gun he was holding?
Yeah, that makes a... But hold on. He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine. Did he lose all faith?
I'll tell you everything.
I understand. And if I may just... Many people have laughed at me, but it was Mr. Callis, no matter what...
Don't worry. You and all...
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Welcome. Thank you for completing today. Ad Astra Abyssosk.
Come take a look. There will definitely be something to pass around.
Gather!
Born of ice and frost.
Boom! Time for your raiment!
As one with wind and cloud!
Solidified! Order guide you!
For Rex Lapis. No touching. Next on the agenda. Access denied.
Wind strike!
Incinerate! No touching.
Gather!
Next on. Boom!
Stabilize!
Thierry, it's me.
Oh,
Oh, so you've come.
oh, okay.
Are you sure there isn't?
I mean, where I Callus did a fantastic. It would be next to him. Anyway, enough chit chat. Are these two friends of yours? You here for some formal business?
Yes. What happened at the
Ah, I get it. You think there might, if you want to go through the original.
That'd be much
Of course. Why do you ask? We definitely can't.
Well, you see, so if you hypothetically wanted to.
If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. If you try to make unreasonable, removing a syrup, so I can promise you, they're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, jokes aside, I'll be staying in this.
A fateful offering.
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let. Sure.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as...
Oh, it's all right. I just wanted to.
Yes,
Oh!
that's right. I also witnessed to beat the hydro... Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is...
Uncle Marcel.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, and...
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an. If not for the vigilance.
Alas. But rest assured, now, if anyone dares to lay their hands...
Thank you, Uncle. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About the confrérie was responsible for that banquet. So then I heard the sound of a...
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if.
Sounds good. Just all my wealth comes from...
We've talked to all three suspects, purely based on their conversations with.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
Anyway.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right!
According to Jacques.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be. Makes sense. But besides Jacques, it's obvious that.
Do you think.
Given everything that's happened, who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Florent? It is true that he was closest to my. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor.
So you're saying he.
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able. Thierry, you say? Huh. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also...
Yeah, had he actually tampered with the mecha? If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out what...
Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his... Who could it be? You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel...
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the...
Malus has... the suspect is not... Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes. We need far more...
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wasn't that place built specific?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called...
What?
Yeah.
Well...
Wait, how?
That's what I thought was if the charge again...
Right.
Yeah.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just since this is a trial, you're right. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and...
We'll help you.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver.
We heard that it's our hope that...
See you then. Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. Let's go and try to find the entrance. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth... Ah, you're right. An important place like Navia's probably...
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Totem. Do you accept the charge?
To be perfectly... However, I did hear... In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I've got to admit, when I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding...
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants... Then why don't you duel me too?
Alas, it would... In that case...
That case had nothing to do... Huh? What's going...
Why is she interjecting?
I told you it...
Miss Navia, this is the... But that was an exception.
Oh, please. We can put the discussion aside for now. And if my charge...
Oh. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is... Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also, and if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you...
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to members of the guards. Please contact Mr. Marcel. Mr. Marcel, you will not require...
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one? Come on. Why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor. If that's enough to make...
I think there's no point in getting into...
Exactly correct, Your Honor.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the During the banquet, all attending guests, when the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect. The guards' investigation did not recover. The suspect did not dispute that Callus was defeated by champion duelist These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques... in truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized it. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite however, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea. Something's not right. Something's not... Something's not right. The testimony of the victim, however, this assassin a pile of clothing, but realizing this, the true...
So that's what happened. Wait, you're...
What a great theory. It also...
Mr. Marcel.
But I think...
Then, may I ask one? Do you have...
Boo! I may not have the... We should be able to, considering the serial...
That makes sense to me.
Why do I...
Maybe she's scared of an...
Alternatively...
My second question has to do with the... Then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? if he had testified.
I thought about this too. The dissolving powder. My father could have exposed it at that time. What was certain?
Boss once told me.
What? If the secret had got, of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How had this opera? But by staying, I was able to be. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge,
So,
that's right.
do you have any?
Of course, all you need. I don't need your apology, but since he entrusted it,
So,
As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both.
So that's why you suspected. I'm used to it, though.
No need to appeal to paint.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was... On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't some...
Know what she can say to that?
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an act? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're...
It's timing. I'm a businessman in addition. But the
I do apologize.
No.
Is there anything? You can also take a look at my border entry records. Or ask, could those records and testimonies do something to appease the
Seems like she...
At this rate...
I think you've done us, but aren't you going... He wished for you to be... Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into...
This isn't just about me. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims, the people whose families, many people's images, and whose image is it a man named... Oh, so you... I was...
This is order.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Blaze over!
Whoa! The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place. Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Wind Strider.
The water level is rising! Now we can swim to the top! But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Time to go.
Solidify!
Born of ice and frost.
Inadmissible evidence! Incinerate!
I will have order.
No touching. From Earth, I can fix this. For Rex Lapis.
Clouds high. The birds call.
Now the path is clear! Let's go!
Stabilize! This is order!
Wind Strike.
Access denied.
Replica plane!
Gather! Order guide you!
No touching.
One with nature. Time to go.
After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum. Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That... Let's see what's written here. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have the old dog, Zaria. He can act when I concur. Let's send some... Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. They're all... Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water! That means this is where they make all the sin. If you dilute it with Paimon will take note. What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why? Huh? You mean the girls from the cereal, and then they were turned and all the boxes of things, these names. What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Sorry, traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just, how can someone write something that terrible in such a... You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did all of these wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. Ah, you mean Vache is the one who did all of these... So that's it! No, that's not it either! If that's the case... In any case... Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordials. Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's super obvious. We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theory... Yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything that way, even if we bring all this back to the opera. Sure thing. Paimon won't admit defeat. Vache's lover's name? Then you found her diary. Let's see. Aw, it's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. so many! A whole page's worth! But they're all crossed out. Was she on the final name she decided on? Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vacher and Vinier's grown son? Hey!
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say...
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return and then...
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this
It's all right, Monsieur Neuvillette. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything! After your lover, Vinier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you! You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher!
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now...
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior... Well, Marcel, do you know... You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to... So, you never noticed how we changed, or how...
You also never understood Boss's real expectation.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself.
Do you really pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, they said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vinier's death was brushed away by all of you. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved, you only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to Vinier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together, wherever she goes. But I'm not from this blasted place, so I...
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go! I can't follow! So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed... I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his...
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Vinier. Please, Vinier. Don't think badly of me. All I want to do is fulfill our promise.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have it.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vache and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignier. During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vache as a result. Vache learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vache discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vache decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vache expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vache attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vache's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all. The oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vache. According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale, Mr. Vache is guilty.
Guards! Take Vache away.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearances case is over now.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken guy?
Yippee! We helped Navia bring the bad guy to justice! He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally getting what he deserves! Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely brilliant.
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come. You can rest easy now, knowing justice has been served.
Yeah. It's finally over. See, Papa? Spina di Rosula's still doing well with me at the—
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale, guilty.
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case.
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Hey, Monsieur Novelette, what's going on? Shouldn't they have been cleared already?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it! I don't know what happened there either! Hey, stop staring at me!
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out? Don't tell me. You thought even I had been...
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, and of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. As the embodiment. If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of everything he's done. Not to mention the danger he posed. All shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is not—
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect—
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly, after all, he's done plenty of bad stuff.
Time to go. Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list!
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vash? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make in my life.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of—
This request, is it worth as much to you as—
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spirit? Very well. I will go—
Your Honor, I fear that—
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
In that case, I shall leave him in your most capable hands.
Thank you.
Huh? Isn't that Charlotte? Who's her friend?
Please, I read that a gang of criminals tricked the Gardamex by disguising themselves as blubber beasts. I've invested all my savings into graph adversarial technology and even taken out a size. I'm begging you like the beggiest beggar in all of begdom.
I need you to calm down a little, Miss I admire your passion, but I'm afraid I'm not joking. It's funnily enough, but to our surprise, in truth, Gardamex, since we ran that, so I knew this story had helped out.
Uh-oh. She really... Hey, Charlotte!
Traveler, Paimon, it's you! I was in the area taking some She read an article in the Steam inspired by this story. She was hoping but unfortunately...
This is a new situation for us, too! It's such a pity. It seems like the author was only trying to make the story interesting, and the Maison Gardiennage only had Fontaine's best interest in mind.
Wait, Miss Lapine Pauline, what are you doing?
I'm gonna pick a fight with a Gardamex, head to the opera at Biclez, and get a one-way ticket to the Fortress of Meropide. That way, I won't have to repay my debts. It's the only way I can afford to keep on living.
Whoa, there's no need to go that far. I mean, come on, look at you. You wouldn't even dent the Gardamex armor. In all likelihood, they'd only hold you up at the Maison Gardiennage for a few days before letting you out, and then you'd still have to repay your debts. Actually, instead of going into the technicalities of that, how much did you actually invest? How bad can it really be?
270,000 mora.
Okay, well, escaping to the Fortress of Meropide over a sum like that seems like a last resort. Surely there must...
Not anymore. It's not just my savings that are gone. It's my life is...
Don't despair, Miss Lapine. This prototype you've given me, the camera lens for image recognition sample collection. It's really quite something. You said you designed it specifically for high-fidelity image capture and analysis, yes? The rapid focal length adjustment is a very useful function in its own right. It's sure to make many journalists' jobs much easier. In fact, I'd say it has the potential to revolutionize Fontaine's news media. So your research efforts thus far are by no means in vain. The technology you've developed may have many applications that you've never even considered.
Really?
Absolutely. I've been working as a journalist for the Steambird for a long time now. No one understands the issues we journalists face on a day-to-day basis better than me. So keep calm, take heart, and start thinking about mass production. In the meantime, I'll show your invention to all my colleagues to drum up interest in your product.
I can't believe it! If this is true, then I can look into setting up a whole camera lens development pipeline. My big-ticket orders and billionaire aspirations are still in the cards. Oh, maybe I should consider taking out another loan. That way, I can rapidly improve the lens production process, be the first to market, and prepare to battle for dominance in the camera industry.
Come on! Stop daydreaming about your pipelines for a minute. Just take it one step at a time and see how it goes. There's no sense in putting all your eggs in one basket before things are even off the ground.
And I can probably speak to some people I know and license my image recognition device to a workshop to raise some funds. I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner. There's no time to lose. I need to get to work. Early bird gets the worm.
Can you believe her? She just ran off. Paimon's pretty sure our advice went in one ear and out the other.
It's understandable. When inspiration and passion strike at the same time, it's all too easy to throw yourself headfirst into your work and forget about everyone around you. A lot of journalists are the same way when they're first starting out. But don't you worry. I'm gonna write an article on all this, and I'll be checking in on her regularly. Her research has the potential to benefit the entire journalistic community. I'll give her plenty of input to stop her from going down any rabbit holes, and make sure mass production of her lens can begin as soon as possible.
It's reassuring to know that you'll be looking out for her, Charlotte.
Actually, you know what? Why don't you two take this prototype lens? I'm sure you'll have plenty of chances to use it on your travels. It takes the right person to get the most out of a new technology. In your hands, it's sure to capture some amazing sights.
Thanks a lot, Charlotte. What a nice surprise. We were just curious about what you guys were talking about. Totally didn't expect to get a free gift out of it.
You're welcome. I got something out of this too. The beginnings of a very interesting news story. The boundaries between real news reports and news-like fiction must not be blurred, even when there's a compelling justification for doing so. Yes, that's how I'll phrase it to the editors when I give them my feedback. Let's hope we don't mislead any more well-meaning citizens in the future.
So hard to pick the perfect gift.
Time to go.
Quake! Crumble!
As one with wind and cloud.
Blaze over.
Yeah.